So you might be excited to multiply like larger polynomials times larger polynomials, like 4 terms times 4 terms. We're not going to do that. We're going to do something different. So we're going to talk about special products. And so the first one we're going to talk about are called binomial squares. So it's when you have a plus b and you're going to square it. Well, that means a plus b times a plus b. So when you do that, if you use FOIL, you'd have a squared, you'd have an ab, you'd have another ab, ab, and then you'd have a b squared. But see, that ab and that ab are the same, so we can combine them, and we have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So it's like a little formula. A plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And you could do that with FOIL, no problem, okay? But sometimes it's handy to be familiar with the formula. So that's the formula. That's one of them. And then they also give us one if it's a minus b squared. So we could do the same thing. A minus b times a minus b. And then we'd have a times a is a squared. And then we'd get a minus ab. And then we'd get another minus ab. And then we'd have a negative times negative, which would be positive b squared. So again, the two in the middle combine. So we'd have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So it's very similar to the first formula. They usually give them to you separately, two separate formulas. And that's how you square a binomial. Okay? So those are the formulas. Okay, so I'll show you how we're going to use this formula. So the formula says if you have a plus b squared, it equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So for us, our parentheses, we have, for our a, it's an x, and then we have plus, and then our b is a 9. Okay, so on the other side, for every a, we're going to put in an x, and for every b, we're going to put in a 9. Okay, so here we would have x for the a, but then we're going to square it because that's what the formula says to do, plus 2 times, and then we're going to put in an x, times b, which our b is 9. So here you have the x going in for a, and you have the 9 going in for the b. Okay. Plus, and then I'm going to have whatever that b is, which is 9. So I'm going to put it in parentheses. I probably should have put the x in parentheses here too. And then that's going to be squared. Okay, now my colors are all off. That's okay. All right, then hopefully you get the meaning behind the formula. So for every a, you're putting in an x. For every 9, or b, you're putting in a 9. Okay, so it simplifies to be x squared plus 18x plus 81. And that's it. Now you might say, well, wouldn't it be easier just to FOIL it? Sure, you could FOIL it and you're going to get the same thing. I have my own little system. I'll show it to you just once. If you like it, you can use it. If you don't, then that's okay. I haven't found too many that like it. But what I do, I don't do that. Sorry. Old habit. You could do it that way. But when I'm squaring a binomial, what I do is I take the first term and I square it. Then I multiply the two terms together and double it. So it's 2 times the 9x, okay? And then I take the last term and I square it. So it kind of makes like a little smile here. So I call it the smiley face system. It's just doing the same thing that the formula was doing. So if you like it, you can use it. If you don't, That's fine. Like I said, I haven't found anybody that really likes it, but for me, it's a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. So you get the same answer. All right. You have to remember to double that middle term. Okay, so here we are. I'll just show you the formula. It's the minus kind. So a minus b squared is going to equal a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, so this time though, I'll try to be really careful with the color scheme here. My 4x is the a, okay? So if I go on the other side, I'm going to take my a and I'm going to square it. Minus 2 times whatever a is, okay? So a appears twice on the right if you're using the formula. So I'm going to put a 4x here for that a and a 4x here for that a, all right? Then it's going to be minus, and then my b is a 5y this time. So I'm taking this problem from up here and I'm trying to align it with the formula. So my a was 4x and my b was 5y. Well, now on the other side then, every place there's a b, so here's a b plus b squared, I've got to put in the 5y. So 2 times the b appears also. Now those parentheses are really important because when we square things, we have to square the whole term. So for this first one, I have to square the 4 and I have to square the x. Okay? So don't forget that. And then for this middle part, I'm going to have minus, well, it's going to be 2 times 4 times 5, which is going to be 40 xy. Okay? And then for the last part, I'm going to have to square that 5 and I have to square the y. All right, so I kind of wrote that out a little bit so you could see what was going on. But I get 16x squared minus 40xy plus 25y squared. And that's going to be the answer.